Grab your harmonica and grab your Berettas.
This week we're talking about The Killer.
The Chris and Chris Show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chris and Chris Show. I'm Chris with a Chukong C.
And I am Chris with a Killer K.
Fuck, of course, man. Of course it's Killer K. Shit,
You might guess
I
that,
even
to
thought
be
that the other day. I was like, if he does, I did think if he doesn't use Killer K, it's like it's like the joke comes full circle. Killer K. Yeah, this week it's 1989's The Killer. Some would say John Woo's masterpiece.
The old Jonathan Woozle's swan song. It's his full name.
Jonathan Peter Woozles. First thing, I don't know if this has annoyed you as well, but one thing we need to talk about, David Fincher's new movie, The Killer.
Yeah, and I noticed that when I was looking up stuff, yeah.
David, no disrespect, but fuck off. You can't call a movie The Killer when this exists. It'd be like calling a movie Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, it's a bit massively presumptuous, isn't it?
Yeah. There was a Korean movie a couple of years ago as well called The Killer. Not a remake of this, but I mean, that can fuck off as well, I'm sorry. And I know the new movie's based on a book called The Killer. That's fine. It's a book. It's a different medium. If you're going to do an adaptation, don't call it the same thing as a classic movie also called The Killer.
Yeah, it's like kind of got there first, right? So,
yeah.
You know, it's too late.
It's like annoying now. If you search The Killer on IMDb, The Killer is like the fucking fifth thing that shows up now.
Yeah, and even more confusing, obviously. We'll talk about it later on, probably in the show. But like, obviously, he's working on a Killer remake, right?
What's that? I was thinking. Yeah, it's like, so what the fuck's he going to call his movie then?
It's going to get well confusing. This.
Yeah, you have to call it A Killer.
Yeah, just Killer. They'll do that thing where they just take the off or something.
It's not A, it's A.
Yeah,
Killer.
Yeah. Yeah, with an H at the end.
Yeah, exactly. An exclamation point and a one. But yeah, I don't think there's anything to go over beforehand. Apart from, because it's a favourite of ours, it looks like Second Sight are going to do a big special edition of Dead Man's Shoes, probably next year, hopefully.
Oh, yes.
That'll be nice.
Speaking of which, I got a notification. Totally forgot about this. I think I did message you about it, but I think I was drunk at the time when I pre-ordered this. I got a notification for the big special edition Tremors 2 4K.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Arrow. It must be out. Arrow sent us an email saying they're processing the order. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Oh shit, I don't think you did messages about that.
Did I not? No, I thought I did. Yeah.
I do have a vague memory of getting a Tremor. I might have been drunk at the same time. That's why I can't remember.
Some £60 box set or something. Fuck's sake.
It's just Tremors 2 as well.
Yeah, just Tremors 2, yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Worth every penny.
It's like in 4K, Blu-ray included. Whatever, I guess.
Yeah. That's it though. Don't go. If they do a 4K 3, don't go mental. No,
I'm stopping. That's it. One and two.
1 and 2 is a good 1-2. That's all you need, really.
Yeah. Too right.
So shall we just get on with The Killer?
Yeah.
So The Killer was released in 1989, runs for 1 hour 51 minutes, directed of course by John Woo, stars Chow Yun-fat as Ajong or Jeff in the English version and some of the subtitles. Danny Lee as Inspector Lee, Chu Kong as Sydney or Fung, Sally Ye as Jenny, Kenneth Zhang back again as Sergeant Zhang or Sergeant Chang, and Xing Fu on as Wang, another power-hungry nephew, as I mentioned last. Would you like to do your plot synopsis first? I heard it's poetic. It's a poem.
Yeah, I did. I thought I'll mix it up this time. I'll do a bit of a limerick, a bit of a poem / limerick.
Lovely.
I tried not to make. I wrote a like dead poetic one, and then I thought, nah, it's boring. And then I made it rhyme a little bit. So, anyway, an assassin with a heart and soul in strife, because the young girl Jenny has lost her sight. His world unfurls as he rights his wrongs. His friends turn foe and new bonds are forged. One final payoff to exit this life, but lives will be lost to pay the cost. Doves take flight and bullets rain down in an unforgettable church showdown.
Lovely.
There you go.
Lovely. I'm going to put the fucking score under that so it's all epic and put a bit of reverb on your voice, I think. I'll do my boring one now.
But yeah, proper synopsis.
When contract killer Ah Jong accidentally blinds woman Jenny during a hit, he accepts one final job before retiring, with plans to use the money to pay for Jenny's eye operation. Unfortunately, the person who hired him now wants him dead. All the while, a determined cop is on his trail.
Just thought, does Inspector Lee have a different name in the dub as well, or is it just Inspector Lee?
I think it's just Inspector Lee.
Is it? I must say, just to because you mentioned it, I fucking hate the fact that he's called Jeff/Jeffrey in the dub version.
Damn it, that's it. I guess it's cool the way it's what are you gonna? It's at least it's not a typical cool name for a hitman.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit.
My name's Drake. My name's Kane.
Yeah, totally. But still, just Jeffrey. I don't know. It seems like no effort.
Hey, that might be a cover name. You never know.
Yeah, true. Or Shrimphead as well. Shrimphead.
Yeah, I was going to say, which version is it where, like, the fucking... the version you watched, was it Shrimphead?
Yeah, Shrimphead and Small B are the two names that...
okay, because the ones I watched had the original subtitles of Dumbo and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I'm sure there's another one I read about in Impact or something years ago where, like, some territory, the subtitles are like Butthead and Fuckface or something like that. And I was like, totally what the fuck? Yeah, because I think they weren't allowed to use that after a while. Like, I think they were worried about maybe... phone call from Disney going, you can't really use that. Not in a movie where people are getting blown away every 5 seconds.
Especially when it's a film that's like got quite a lot of attention on it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So yeah. I could say that.
Because this was the film. I'm guessing like it did get a lot of it got woo attention from America. Like a lot of filmmakers in America saw this at the time because I know it hit a lot of festivals. So I imagine that's where a lot of the talk started about John Woo in America. Yeah,
I think it's a funny one, isn't it? Because we'll dash in. Well, I'll dash in some trivia as we go. But one of the trivia that I saw, and I did remember when I saw this, that it wasn't really a big hit in Hong Kong, or at least not initially. It was like not a failure, but it just didn't really like move the needle at all, did it, in Hong Kong?
No, I saw something that it barely finished in the top 10 of the year, like highest grossing. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm just imagining it because I've watched it so many times and stuff, but like I feel like it's very like accessible in a way that like Battle Royale is accessible for a Japanese movie.
Yeah, because it's paced and everything like an American action movie, I feel like. Yeah.
And I wonder if that like is one of the reasons, like maybe, and also the like Chinese sensibilities and stuff. Or at least back then, they were a bit funny about like heroes and villains. Mm-hmm. And like Chow Yun-fat does obviously play like a bit of a villain in this film again.
He's as much as like he's the killer with a moral code. Like I know that's only what the show. But he only kills bad guys, you know what I mean? He's a bad guy who kills bad guys.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I wonder what it was that caused it to not be that successful. Really?
Well, yeah, because they're thinking about it, because I was reading up, like, because I know this is around the time when this was the last film Choi Hark and John Woo made together. It's like the relationship, I think, was starting to fizzle out after the whole Better Tomorrow 2 shenanigans. Yeah. But, like, it makes sense now. When I first read this quote, I was like, what? But now that you say that, yeah, because when John Woo told me his idea, Choi Hark's response was, no one wants to see a movie about a killer. So maybe he was going for that. I remember when I first read that quote, I was like, that's just Choi Hark being a dick.
I think there's an element of that. I think there is trivia out there that says that Choi Hark started to just decline all of John Woo's ideas.
Pretty much, because he was just better after Bad Martin.
Yeah, I think he wanted him fired, didn't he? Allegedly, as
that's
the story goes.
Yeah,
and like the producer or the head of the studio was like, no, because fucking he's earning Kronos coin. I don't want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And it just kind of annoyed Choi Hark.
It was pretty much like it wasn't going to get made until Chow Yun-fat read the script and was like, no, I want to do this. And then, they're not going to say no to Chow Yun-fat, are they?
But I do think there might be an element of, because, it's like at the end of Big Boss, I always think back to, Bruce Lee, kills the bad guy at the end.
Arrested,
but then he's like, he's taken away because it's like, he's done a crime, he has to face the punishment.
They were still doing that even in the 80s, 90s and stuff. It was that, because I was watching the middle two, in the Line of Duty movies.
Yeah.
It was like Michelle Yeoh there in the early ones and stuff. And there's that fourth one that Hong Kong Legends released, and like in the international version, Donnie Yen has the end fight. Hi, editing Chris here. I made a big cock up there. The movie I actually was talking about was Tiger Cage 2, not in the Line of Duty 4. Hey, anyway, back to the show. We must have got like the other Asian territory version, because in the end that's the one where he gets arrested and it's got a totally different ending. So they were still doing it even. I don't know what it's like now.
No, me neither. Like whether they've mellowed a little bit, maybe, or.
But the Hong Kong cinema industry isn't the same as it was back then anyway. As far as like how much they were pumping out back then, Jesus. When they're like the third biggest film producing country in the world, behind like India and America.
Yeah, at one time. The landscape's totally different now.
Completely different. But yeah, it is crazy to think about it though, that like it's seen as his masterpiece, but it wasn't a big hit in its home country at the time. It was just kind of crazy.
No,
it kind of opened the doors more for him to when he eventually went to Hollywood.
Yeah, I think that's, like you said, you're totally right. I think directors and producers and people have seen this film, and it is very good. It's a simple statement, but it just is. Like visually, there's loads of interesting things. It has, I would say, it has more tension or tension done better than all of John Woo's other films, I reckon.
Yeah, I would say so.
There's just certain scenes where you can the tension comes through the screen like really well, and I can just see why people would have. It's just a shame, that Hollywood thing. That I'm surprised it didn't end up. If it had been now, he would end up like directing like an Avengers movie or something like that.
yeah, probably. Yeah, they'd give him like a sequel to something, probably. Yeah.
So in some ways, it's kind of a shame that he caught the eyes of like America and he didn't just continue. Because I always forget Hard Boiled, which we'll get to, but that's like the last collaboration between John Woo and Chow Yun-fat. And you think, fuck, that's mad.
I know.
Because obviously
30 years ago.
Yeah, he went off to America and made a bunch of okay-ish films.
Yeah, I just find it bizarre. I guess maybe they were offered, but they both said no. It's just kind of weird that no one in Hollywood put up the money to have a Chow Yun-fat John Woo movie.
Reunion
once they were both over there, yeah. But I guess they both wanted to do other things.
Yeah,
I doubt John Woo wanted to make The Killer over and over again in Hollywood.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was offered. He got it. He got his foot in the door the way early, didn't he? With like Hard Target, Face Off. Then he did something slightly more American and big budget, Broken Arrow. Then he did the Mission Impossible movie. And then kind of did his own thing. So
he made his money. I guess fair play to him.
Yeah. I was going to say though, like I don't think it is because it's too close. But there's a lot of similarities with this and Heat. But I was thinking, because like Heat's based on an old Michael Mann movie, and then I was like, when did that come out? It came out the same year. But maybe it's not the same movie because it's twice long. So maybe The Killer did have some influence on the Heat script rather than the whatever it's called, Elliot Takedown script from like 1989. So because they've like weird friendship between a bad guy and a good guy. Not quite the same in Heat, but there's some similar dynamics and stuff.
I know the trivia that I did see just before recording the show is that John Woo was a big fan of Spy vs. Spy. And he loved the idea of like black and white, but they're still friends. But I can't remember, is it a dog or a cat in that?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like it fascinated him that they were like polar opposites, but they still remained friends and stuff. And that was kind of like it was the simple beginnings of that idea that that spawned the creation of this movie. Basically. Yeah,
it's always a good idea with stories like two opposite people either having to join together or like either mutual respect or whatever. It always works well, and especially in crime movies as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the cop and the robber.
Yeah,
but I think the one thing that struck me about this film is firstly a lot of the variety in the locations in comparison to John Woo movies. Like not that they ever have like poor locations or anything, but I just think visually the bit on the tram
Yeah.
bit with the light on the rooftop chase and stuff, and like in the middle of like a busy street. I just felt like those more like visually like busy and hectic and interesting locations.
It does feel like the scope's opened up a lot more with this one, doesn't it? Yeah. And
Like
I love all the scenes in the church. It's like such an atmospheric location especially for a film with this type of storyline. To have like quiet scenes in a church, and especially to have the end massive gigantic finale gun shootout in a church.
Yeah, again, like kind of funny religious undertones, really. Not like massively, but just, you know, it's kind of implied that that Chow Fat's character is like Christian, or you know, at least in some ways draws like harmony and peace from like the church and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
well, that's the thing. I think John Woo's Catholic or Christian. I remember reading once, and I think this is the first time he's ever put any, at least as far as these gangster movies go, any sort of religious stuff in his movies.
I mean, not that it's, you know, not to be in danger of like digging too much into it, because I don't think there's any message there or anything. I think it's just cool visuals in it, really, in the church and stuff. But it's interesting. This
film, he said, is a tribute to both Scorsese and the other director he really influenced. So name has totally gone out of my head.
Oh yeah, I feel like I read that earlier, but
because like there is a bunch of nods to, especially Taxi Driver later on. And I was watching Mean Streets recently for the first time in a while. That has a lot of like voiceover about like, especially him talking about God and religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always a bit of that in Scorsese. So maybe that's an influence on like that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it never gets in the way or anything.
No.
It's just there. It's cool. Yeah. I really like the bit when he's getting the bullets out of his back. It's ridiculous as it is, because like, what the fuck, is he a Terminator?
Yeah, I know. But I tell you what though, Chow Fat fucking sells it super well.
He does.
He sells pain really well. I've always thought Chow Fat.
You could thoroughly believe it was like he was in pain during that scene.
Yeah. I always forget there's a massive 6-month jump after that, because I'm always like, your ribs would be in shatters and tatters. Like, your ribs would be broken at every rib. You've been shot in the back like 3 times.
Yeah, totally. And obviously, it's not like he's getting the best healthcare in the world, right? He's just stressed up on a table, getting like
no anesthetic. Maybe it's a bottle of whiskey. Maybe it's a bottle of whiskey out of frame, but just he's digging shells out his back.
So I would assume the recovery time for something like that has to be quite extensive.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, we'll suspend with disbelief for that.
Well, yeah, and it's Chow Fat, so he's dead hard in that. So I guess we should talk about like for the start, like the opening shootout. Like, it's such a great. I mean, first you got the scene in the church, like setting everything up, and it's very quiet, it's rainy, it's very atmospheric.
Yeah.
And then the opening shootout, I just love how it starts super slow and calm. Like, you've got her singing.
Yeah.
He slowly walks through the club.
Yes, Sally. Yeah, obviously she's a Canton pop star, wasn't she?
Yeah, primarily. Yeah, she did a bunch of movies, but primarily a pop star. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like that song. It's such a nice, serene song, and then just bam, just sudden violence out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's quite brutal as well. The violence in this movie, like overall, they're not messing about.
No, there's a lot of. Well, basically, it's kind of fucking funny thinking about it, because a lot of the excessive, you know, there's just moments where Chow Fat will just empty a clip into one guy needlessly, and like, if you watch the American like R-rated cut of Hard Target, like, that was the stuff that they basically got him to trim.
Right.
So like, it's like they were like, "Oh, this guy's great. Look at the killer. Don't do that though." It makes no sense.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's so weird, that when they want to like water down the thing that they want.
That's classic Hollywood. Oh, we love this guy. He's got such a unique vision. Don't do that. What are you doing? Why are you doing what we asked you to do?
Make it more American.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made note, just really saying about shooting multiple times, and that I did make note, like, he's somewhat sloppy for an assassin. Just the fact he like unloads full clips constantly and stuff. I do kind of like it, to be fair though. I'm going to rationalise it. My headcanon is that like his training, it tells him to always like shoot more than like 2-3 shots to ensure the targets are dead.
Yeah.
So like, rather than, because it is unbelievable, an assassin wouldn't just shoot once per person.
No.
There would probably be like 3-4 shots per person.
Well, it's like even the assassination bit at the the dragon boat race. He shoots him directly in the forehead and still shoots him twice more.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Just to make sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my headcanon anyway. That's why he's just unloading full clips into people's chests. And
He really likes the sound of banging. He likes guns. He likes the loud noises.
Never mind her eyes. Fucking Ajong's ears would be fucked.
Yeah,
basically.
Really, for the rest of the movie, she'd just be like, what? Sorry, what? No, I was going to say, I don't know about you, but the shot where he blinds it always bothers me a bit. It doesn't look like it lines up properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Like they're both face down. The bad guy comes directly behind them. He turns with his arm just sticking out over her face and looking at the guy directly in front of him and shoots. I'm like, I hate to be like picking at John Woo, but I'm just always like, yeah, I find a better way to do that.
Yeah, like, could they not have just filmed like put I'm trying to think what the word is, but like overlaid the plates or something. I mean, they've done visual effects in this movie because there's that nice shot where Chow Yun-fat is like imposed over a splash of blood.
Yeah,
and stuff. So like, could they not have done something there? Maybe it's like filmed her reacting and then filmed a gun going off and like overlaid it or something. Or...
It's not necessarily. It's like it's the position of the guy that's shooting at them. And where Chow Yun-fat's pointing the gun, he's got his arm directly out to his right, but he's looking at the guy. Yeah, and I'm like, to me, I'm just like, it would have been better if she was in the middle of getting up to run away and crossed his sight or something like that. It just looks awkward to me every time. I don't mean to pop on it too much because people are going to be sitting there going, "Fuck off, Chris! Fucking having to go with John Woo." I'm not. I'm just saying it's the one part of the film I'm always like, bugs us a little bit. Yeah, and it's like the setup of the movie.
But it is brutal, obviously, when it
awful.
cuts to the blood in the eyes and stuff. It's an interesting idea, which I don't feel like gets explored.
No,
like people getting injured, like by incidental gunfire, like where it's not just a bullet coming at you; it's more like the powder discharge or something.
Yeah, it's never like a blank or a gun blowing up in someone's hand or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very rarely done. I can't remember. There's a Western. That maybe a John Wayne film where like the villain at the end gets beaten because I think he's using the shotgun as a walking stick and he like goes to use it and it like explodes in his hands.
Okay,
because he's like using the end of the barrel like into the dirt.
Oh yeah.
And that like gets him, and it's like Hollywood never portrays like firearms as being these dangerous things that can actually injure people like outside of just the bullets hitting people.
Yeah. Next we meet Danny Lee's character. What do you think of Danny Lee in the movie? I like him. I think he's a cool character.
Yeah, I think he does really well. It's the line where Chow Yun-fat says like he doesn't look like a cop. Kind of works. He's like I could imagine The Killer 2, if it happened, would have been his character being like the hitman or something. In the sequel, like he's turned his back on being a cop or something. Yeah, I kind of get that impression, but yeah, I really like him. I think he's obviously very suave, kind of like slick hair, cigarette smoking sort of guy, like that kind of guy that gets over in Chinese movies, I guess.
Yeah, and there's like he's got like a Dirty Harry Riggs vibe to him. Like he kind of goes above and beyond, and like is a bit reckless, but only in the in the sense of trying to get the criminals and all that stuff. Like the way he just pulls out a gun and when it sets them up undercover, trying to buy guns off gangsters and stuff.
Yeah, which is a great scene. I really like that scene. Yeah,
it is. And
another like tense scene,
super tense, yeah. And especially he's just got to watch and like he does try and keep it up for a little bit, but he's just got to watch like some young colleague of his bleed to death on the ground because the guy they're dealing with is an absolute psychopath.
Yeah, a mad dog.
The first say Mad Dog, that's going to be reused again in Hardboiled.
Yeah,
he loves planting them seeds, John.
He does.
Like even in this movie, as I get there, we've got another dark-suited, dark glasses wearing killer, like Hitman type, from Better Tomorrow 2. It's like the same thing, done a bit different, yeah.
And obviously the hospital, but we'll get to that. But it's similar sort of thing. Like the DNA is there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I like Danny Lee a lot in the movie. He's a good character. Yeah. He works really. The scenes with him and Chow Yun-fat are really good. They work really well. I think this may be the only time maybe they've ever worked together. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm getting mixed. Yeah, maybe
feels right though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the again, just ramps up the tension when they go onto the tram.
Oh no, fuck! Of course, they're in fucking City on Fire, man.
Oh God!
They work together in that first before this. Fuck.
Shit. God. See, that's fun. I'm not going through the IMDb before we record.
Not refreshing with old minds. What was in this one again? Jackie Chan?
Well, it's Sammo Hung in this one. When's Sammo coming? Just one Sammo Hung in every film. To be fair, I mean, that's an accurate statement, to be fair.
It is. It's always the thing that's... Whenever I finish a movie, I'm like, it'd be better if Sammo was in it, though.
Just turns up and he's like a PI. I just want him to be his PI character in everything he does.
Yeah. It's like a running character in every Hong Kong movie.
Yeah, but we digress. Yeah, I was just gonna say I really love the bit. I mean, I do crack a joke after it, but the scene when they're on the tram, and it's a really nice tense scene. There's no like audio, or at least the music like dies right down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like them peering through the crowd. He's trying to like see the bad guy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of them bits where you like, I don't know, it just feels so unique and ahead of its time for like just having intelligent pacing, and it's not just all bombastic action and stuff.
I love how there's no patience from Danny Lee either. He's not going to have a hostage negotiation. As soon as he grabs someone, he just shoots them straight away.
And that's what I mean. The joke that I kind of crack is just, you know, in the scene after when he's getting chewed out by his bosses, and the movie's kind of presenting like he's the hard done by party, but it's like, no, come on. I mean, to be fair, you did just fucking blow somebody away on a packed tram and cause some innocent lass to have a heart attack
and die.
You would definitely be just kicked out of the force, I reckon.
Yeah.
But he's all like, you and your bureaucracy and your red tape. It's like, I don't know.
It's like, had up, mate. I mean, he does kind of try and rationalise it with like, if I had done that, he would have shot her. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, yeah, it's a cool scene, all the same.
It is. It's a really cool scene. Yeah, I was looking at the because I don't really know much about like behind the scenes stuff on this, because it's been years since I've listened to like Bale Logan's commentary. But reading that like they just shot this scene kind of without permits, and then the cops showed up, and Danny Lee had to be like, sorry about this. Like the cops must have been Danny Lee fans or something. He like talked them into letting them continue shooting, which I thought was cool.
Well, I did read some trivia that's like linked to that about all the guns in this film are real as well. I don't know how true this is, so it's like unverified. I saw it on IMDb, but it says all the guns were real and they didn't have like prop guns. They were obviously just shooting blanks.
Well, I've heard somewhere before that for Hong Kong movies, most of the time they'd get the guns from the UK. Weirdly,
mad. Yeah.
Import them from the UK. I've heard that before.
Yeah, because obviously I know like they've got super strict gun laws and stuff.
Yeah, that's always a funny thing. I remember Bale Logan saying that once before, like saying it's funny that all these movies are like full of guns, but you're more like it's more likely to say a gun in the UK than in Hong Kong. It's like it's kind of exactly the same as it is here.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that was like an extra element. I think when they were filming that tram scene, like people were like properly freaked out. They thought it was a real crime that was going down, basically. Because like they saw people with guns and stuff, and were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you know, a fucking blank still sounds like a live round.
Yeah. So no wonder they were freaked out, and the cops came.
Yeah, one thing I know we're jumping ahead a bit because he's not. Well, we're not doing this in order, but it doesn't matter. But like, I will say, just speaking of Danny Lee, I love his stripy suit.
Yeah, it's very synonymous.
It looks so comfy. I want one for just around the house.
Yeah, it's just kind of like nice and baggy and airy.
Yeah, this looks nice and cool and like breezy. It'd be nice to wear in the summer.
There's a lot of again, it's one of the films where a lot of people are wearing light colours. Obviously, it's a John Woo thing, that, but there's a lot of white in this film.
Yeah,
there's a lot of white people, and then the odd bad guy wears black, but mostly it's white pants, white top, and some sort of light blazer or something. Yeah,
it is very like symbolic at the end how the two good guys are in a church wearing white fighting all the guys in black.
Yeah.
But yeah, when the bit I was on about like the bunch of like Taxi Driver references I noticed was the bit with the briefcase when he brings him the briefcase full of guns before his job. That feels like it's right out of that scene in Taxi Driver where he goes to buy a gun.
Yeah,
he's got all the things, and the bit with the obviously the retractable gun up the sleeve, that's straight out of Taxi Driver.
Yeah, when he just flicks it out.
Yeah.
Shoots the guy.
Because that's one of my favourite scene in the film. I know we'll do highlights later, but my favourite scene is the bit where Sydney comes and tries to kill him, basically, to betray him with the empty briefcase for him. That's such a fucking good scene.
Yeah, really good. And yeah, just the fact that he's in on it and he puts the gun down, but the gun's empty, and it's just great acting on both sides.
Yeah. The moment I love the most is where he spots the guy coming, so he just starts basically killing everyone that's coming at him in the apartment. It keeps cutting back to Chugong's face, and it's a mix of oh, I feel fucking awful about this. What have I done? And probably the first time he's ever seen Jeff in action, and he's kind of in awe.
yeah, that he's just a killing machine. Basically.
Yeah, no one stands a chance, basically. Yeah, there's some awesome shots in that scene though, because that must have been hard. It's I'm assuming they shot it in a real little apartment.
Yeah,
it must be hard to stage an action scene like that in a tiny little space like that. But John Woo manages to whip the camera all over the place. There's some awesome camera moves up hallways and stuff like that. Such a nice scene.
Low angles.
Yeah,
creative angles. There's a lot of stuff that you just notice where you think, oh, that was unique.
Yeah.
I read though he basically doesn't. Well, he plans them out. They're very much a Hong Kong cinema thing. This anyway, but they plan them out there and then on the day. Basically,
yeah, I can imagine.
There's no storyboard and nothing like that. They just get on location and just go, right. Well, if you get in this chair, you might be able to do this, and we'll put the camera there. Sort of stuff.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a few things he has in mind, but normally it's you arrive in the day and figure it out.
Yeah, for this kind of film and martial art films in general, I think that format probably works really well.
It works better, I think, than over planning stuff. I mean, with certain things you've got to over plan for safety.
Yeah.
You can't just be do you feel like jumping out the window and 2 stories down? You can't do that.
There's a crane over there. Do you want to climb up it and jump off it?
And again, I'm sure there's some low budget Hong Kong movies that have done that.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's such a good scene. I love that scene a lot.
Yeah.
And especially the end, which is almost the play, I guess, on Dirty Harry, where he's always keep one bullet, either for me or the other poor guy.
Yeah.
And then he shows him he does have one bullet left, which comes back to bite him in the arse later.
yeah, when there isn't a bullet as well.
No,
in a shot. Yeah, a little bit of payoff, setup and payoff going on.
But yeah, I do feel really sorry for the Sydney character later. He gets the absolute shit kicked out of him. I always find that scene quite disturbing when the bad guy's just bad. He's got that awful blue-green bruise welt on his face.
Yeah, it's
it's really gross. Yeah.
The brutal shot at where he gets a cane smashed over his head.
Yeah. Imagine that hurt.
Yeah, really, really brutal. But yeah, again, just another example of the high tension, because imagine first time watching this film, you wouldn't know who's going to die or what in that scene.
Not at all.
Or what's going to happen. Yeah, really nasty. But he's a man of his word. He gets the cash.
He certainly does, and takes an absolute battering. I did notice this time though, when they're waiting for him inside the church, and he kind of stumbles into the church.
Yeah.
It's gonna bother me every time I watch it now, but you've just noticed there's a dove gets absolutely fucking wiped out by the door.
Oh yeah.
It just fucking gets off balance and just gets slid across the floor. I was like, that poor little bastard.
Yeah, I do worry for the welfare of the doves in this movie.
Yeah.
Potentially. I think there's a bit where you can just see somebody's grabbed a cage of doves and just chucked them at the candles.
Yeah.
You can tell the doves are whoa, landing upside down on the candles and stuff. And I just can picture somebody off camera with just an empty basket, fucking get out.
Just laughing because you made the doves sound like buzzcocks. Whoa.
Yeah, man.
It's candles, man.
Fucking singed me ass, man.
But the other, to go over the big action set piece of the movie, you got the start, which we've already talked about, and the shootout in the apartment. The shootout in the house they're staying in is really. It's another part where there's just a sudden. Obviously, the whole film is violent. It is violent.
Yeah.
But there's the kind of up close and personal violence, which in fact runs out of bullets, so he just grabs a guy, slams him on the kitchen top, and just stabs him in the back with a butcher knife. And even that's the moment as well where Danny Lee's character's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I do love that, where it's up until that point, you're thinking the Inspector Lee's he's a guy on the edge. He doesn't follow the rules. But even at that moment, he's like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
that's a bit much.
Yeah,
just fucking stabbed a dude right in the back.
Yeah, that would have been a good point to have an extra bit where Danny Lee just puts his hand up and goes, bit much, bit much, mate. Spoil it.
You've gone too far.
Having a good time shooting all these guys, you had to spoil it, bringing knives into it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good scene. There's a really brutal bit as well in that. I'm pretty sure it's in that scene where he stands over somebody that's lying down on the floor, and he like puts a shot in him.
That's in the apartment scene. Yeah, I always noticed that. It's quite like cold and brutal.
Yeah, again, just I don't know, something about it is extra brutal. Just stood right over the top of him, shooting down onto him. It's like fucking hell. Yeah.
But then again, it's moments like that just, and rewatching all these movies in general again, that just make me really miss great squib work in movies. I miss squibs.
Yeah. It's probably one of the worst things about CGI and stuff now. Everyone wants the CGI blood and bullet hits and stuff.
And like, I get it because it saves a lot of time, saves money, I guess. But come on, like remember that's the thing that pissed us off. As shit as it was, that 3 from Hell movie. Like we're like, Jesus, Rob Zombie's supposed to be all about the old school movies and like doing it the old fashioned way, and then the last 15 minutes that is just awful CGI squibs and blood. Yeah, and that pissed me off more than the last hour and a half of absolute wank that we had to sit through.
Just the shitty effects, shitty blood. Yeah, anybody that has any doubt should just watch the fucking RoboCop AD-209 scene. Yeah. And be like, aye, that's how you do it. Basically. Like, insane squibs going off.
It's always the fun thing about all these YouTubers now that do, like, you know, people that are, like, in the early 20s reacting to movies like RoboCop for the first time and stuff. There's been a few people that I've seen that have, like... because, we don't think of it like this because we saw when we were kids, but the name RoboCop... Silly name. It's a fucking silly name. Especially if you're a 20-year-old nowadays. So I love seeing their reaction when the 82-9 scene comes out. And they're like, what the fuck? What's this?
Somebody getting like reduced to chunks.
Just fucking corned beef and bolognese, basically.
So yeah. Although I will say that the only thing that I do wonder if John Woo looks at this movie and winces a little bit because there's times you can see the charges going off in the squibs.
Yeah, you can.
I wonder if like that's like as a director or a filmmaker, I wonder if that bothers him a little bit that you can see them.
I guess that's the price you pay though for slow-mo with squibs, I guess.
Yeah. Like a special edition of this movie, they would probably like CGI them out or something maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
If it was like James Cameron.
Oh yeah, fuck no, definitely, yeah.
Everyone would have walkie-talkies and shit.
You know what I will say? Bless Spielberg, he changed his mind on that and you can't get that version anymore. He was like, oh, fuck's sake, I'll let George get me here.
So it's such a ridiculous change that the FBI guys having fucking walkie-talkies.
I think I should have listened to him. I shouldn't have listened to him after all that fucking aliens at the end of Indiana Jones bollocks. Or was that Spielberg's idea? I can't remember. Why are we talking about?
Anyway,
I'm getting off track here. We're talking about John Woo, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. What about the boat scene? I suppose we should talk specifically about the boat scene and the assassination. That's a cool bit.
It's an awesome scene, yeah. Another good build-up of tension because it milks it for a long time where you're just waiting, like, when's he going to do it? Like, what the fuck's he waiting for? And then, of course, he's waiting for the drums to cover up the shot, which is pretty smart. It's very clever. I did never like, though, that's what they always used for a lot of the key art for this movie. Like, Chow Yun-fat with a dodgy fake mustache and salt and pepper in his hair. Like, that was the Made in Hong Kong video cover and the old rental cover. And I'm like, of all the fucking cool shots of Chow Yun-fat in this movie, they chose that.
Yeah, like, it's weird because I don't know if it's because I like the scene or it might be because of the key art stuff. When I think of this film, the first image that pops into my head is Chow Yun-fat with the sniper rifle and the mustache and the pepper, salt and pepper hair and stuff. Yeah. But you're right though. There's so many cool moments in the film. Like, come on, don't put that on the poster.
I only think this because of me dad's reaction, but like I always think it would probably like turn people off watching it because it's just a kind of a bland image if you look at the old Made in Hong Kong video. Because I think I was like in Newcastle with me dad when I got it, and it was like coming up my birthday. Somebody's like, "Do you want any videos for your birthday?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll have this," and I chose The Killer. And he looked at it and was like, and shook his head, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then I was looking at the box, going, "Yeah, I can see why," because he probably thought, "What's this?"
It's all judgmental and stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of annoyed us. I'm all the way home, like, can't believe my dad did that. Shook his head at The Killer.
How dare you?
How dare you? Talked about before on the show, and I was watching Drunken Master 2, and he was like, "Get this shit off," and I was like, infernal, raging inside for hours.
Yeah, I think I was totally. I can't remember what film I was watching, but like one of my family members walked in the room and was like, "It's like a Chinese tea shop in here or something."
Yeah, and you're like, "What does that even mean, Dad?"
I was like, is that a good thing, a bad thing?
Like,
Get
how
out.
how many Chinese tea shops you been in, Dad?
Such a random comment. And then obviously the classic, the voices don't even match the lips.
Oh yeah, of course. Because why would it?
It's dubbed, obviously. What the fuck? What a weird criticism.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You know, dads. But yeah, that bit leads on to like a big speedboat chase, and then another cool little action scene where Chow Fat, like, well, I love the shot of the little girl noticing the sniper in the bushes, basically. Like, that's a weirdly, like, good performance from that kid. She looks super worried, but I'm always like, how does she know it's a guy with a sniper rifle? She's like 4.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just I always interpret it like she just knows something's off.
Yeah, well,
basically.
yeah.
More than anything, and she notices the flash, and because she's looking at the flash, he notices something's not right. Oh, then.
And he uses these glasses.
Yeah, again, very, very creative. Like, great pacing, great tension. Before you even realise, you know something's not right in that scene, and you know that he's been betrayed, Chow Fat, like, before you've even, like, got there, sort of thing.
Bloody big stupid head pulls up in his car.
Yeah.
I do love that bit as well. It's like a weird bit of realism where he shoots the guy and a sheet's hanging in front of him, the sheet goes on fire. I don't know why I always like that bit. It's such a nice touch.
Yeah, something. Yeah, just you don't say it. It's like, it just kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, firearms are like real things in this movie to some degree.
Yeah, for stylish and like over the top as it is in parts, that's portrayed quite realistically.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, putting aside infinite clips and all that sort of stuff.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I always noticed that as well. Yeah, and I like the stuff like where he shoots the gas canister and things. He like reacts quickly. Yeah, like, demonstrates like how quick thinking he is and stuff.
Very aware of his surroundings and stuff.
Yeah, but obviously the young girl getting shot. I mean, you don't see that very often in a movie.
No.
Well, not a John Woo. You do see it in a John Woo movie because you literally saw it in the last John Woo movie you talked about. Better Tomorrow too. But you don't see
Once
it
again, he's like, I didn't quite nail that kid getting shot. I'm going to do it again.
Totally. But yeah, you don't often see that. It's one of them things where if they made an American version of The Killer, that whole thing wouldn't be there. Or they would do it differently. They wouldn't just have a young girl getting shot.
Yeah, I guess, because I mean, it works as far as plot development goes, because that's kind of the reason, like the moment it's solidified for Daniel Lee's character, he's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy isn't just some fucking killer with a guilty conscience, like he actually cares, he's got a code.
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll just make it older or something, or they'll change the format of it up, but I don't know. So, just the way it's presented feels extra brutal.
God knows what they would have changed if they did it in the mid-90s when they were going to, because they were fucking too worried that like the audience would think that it was too homoerotic.
Yeah. Well, actually, just while we're on that subject, I'll just read this. Where did I see that quote? Did I get rid of it? I did see a quote about it calls out that basically it says like they were going to put Michelle Yeoh in it.
Yeah.
To like downplay the homoeroticism, and you think. Really? I mean, firstly, if it was present, what would be the fucking problem anyway? But I don't feel like... I can see it in other genre movies to some degree. Yeah. But I think... I don't get homoeroticism
I never got
undertones at all. No. So, yeah.
It's just fucking weird. It's whenever I think about that, I like read about that potential remake, I'm like, okay, so... how is this more homoerotic than fucking Briggs and Murtaugh?
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, like it's the same. It's pretty much the same. Not the same dynamic, but there's no less or more than the other. It makes no sense why they would look at this and go, I don't know, like. Americans might think they're gay. It's like, fuck off.
Weird homophobia that sometimes creeps in. And like I said, even if it was present, like, so fucking what?
No, who cares?
Just leave it in. Yeah, but weird.
And with the whole, like, the story that they were thinking, oh, okay, well, we'll put Michelle Yeoh. Was she going to play the cop or the killer? I think she was going to play the cop, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me think, so they were going to put her in it and add a love story angle just because it's
probably.
Yeah. I'm like,
and then dilute it.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, like you were saying, then we'll lead on to a scene in the hospital, which is quite clever as well. Keeps them at bay because they're got a gun at each other while a little girl's getting operated on.
Yeah. And again, the movie has time to take a breath. Mm-hmm. I think it's something that this film does really well.
Yeah,
and like it's constantly like mad action, but then moments of like, okay. Now what? Did you notice I always notice the sign that says "Scared Hospital." Scared Heart Hospital.
Yeah.
Bless him. I'm assuming they meant Sacred Heart Hospital.
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, my favourite one's always in The Beyond. I think it's instead of Do Not Enter, it says Do Not Entry or something. It's some like, translation mistake.
Yeah. But yeah, great scene. Again, makes me think that in the back of his mind, John Woo was thinking, oh, this is a cool location to do an
just thinking,
action
wait a
film.
minute, a shootout in the hospital, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Then he was like, a shootout in the hospital for the last hour of the movie. That's a fucking great idea.
Just make it the whole movie. No, I won't go that far.
He almost did, though.
He almost did.
Every time I watch Hardboiled, I'm like, yeah, how long's left? Fuck me, there's like 50, the last fight scene is 50 minutes, basically.
So it's where all the budget went.
But I guess, what else can you say about the finale in the church? It's like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's where John Woo, arguably you could say, Better Tomorrow is where he hit his stride, but I think this is the movie where you start really getting the John Woo-isms.
No, I think, this is definitely where he found his rhythm as far as everything goes. Like, this all feels perfect at this point. And then, in my opinion, some people know, but because I was talking about this with Grindhouse Dave on Instagram, but like, I love all the action in this, and I think like it's a perfect action movie, but I think the action is improved even more in Hardboiled. It's slightly more over the top and like comic booky in Hardboiled, but there's so many bits in that film that I think it's like John Woo's peak as far as action goes. Yeah, I would agree. I think that film's his peak, and I think this film is like him going, right, this is what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, all the double guns come back into play again. Mm-hmm. It's the slow motion. You've got the doves are introduced into this film. It's so funny, the doves thing though, because like technically, apart from like a nod to it and a random nod to it in Face Off, isn't this the only movie with doves?
I feel like there's maybe Hard Target.
There's a bit with pigeons.
Yeah,
there's a bit with pigeons, but like it's always the white doves. But really, it's just the end of the killer.
Yeah, people just always think every film's got like doves in it.
But it's so eye catching that you just like, it's one of those things. It's like Cheyenne Fat with two guns and doves. And there's even like, which we'll talk about in a couple of weeks, like the Stranglehold video game. When you do a special move in that, don't doves fly around?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, from memory. I mean, it's that shot where they walk out of the church towards the camera and there's a dove.
Oh, and the music kicks in. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
It's like cheesy, but it's great cheese. It's it's where you go, oh, come on.
Yeah, totally.
The best mates now. Just two bros killing more people than the fucking plague.
Just going right to, I mean, how many fucking henchmen does that guy have?
In a spoof, there would just be like buses pulling up outside.
Yeah, they're just all running out. Yeah, totally.
Like a couple of coaches, and they're like, call the rest in.
You just have a couple of guys who are like shaking their heads going, I'm not going in there. Like, fuck that. Going the other way.
Yeah, one thing to note, as soon as we talked about it a little bit last week, with Cheyenne Fat almost blowing up, that cut that you see on Cheyenne Fat's face for the second half is a real cut.
Yes, fiberglass or something, wasn't it?
I always think it's from, I know it's just from something exploding and hitting him in the face, and I always assume it's from the bit where there's a slow motion shot where he like dives back and the ground's getting all shut up, so all the wood splinters are flying up. I always assume it's that, but maybe it's an explosion, I don't know. But so you can see him like squinting for the second half of the scene.
I could be wrong, but I think I might have read earlier today, it might have been when the Statue of Mary explodes.
Oh, really?
I think I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling it was something like a fiberglass shard got him.
Imagine poor child if I just stand off the side having a cup of tea, just having a break. Hey, what the fuck, John?
Just blew it up and didn't tell anyone. Yeah, I got a vague feeling it was something like that. It was something that like shattered, basically.
Yeah, there was definitely something that blew up too close to him. Yeah. But still, I'm sure he preferred that than almost getting incinerated.
In the last movie, in Better Tomorrow. Better Tomorrow 2 was one of it.
Yeah, Better
Tomorrow.
The door.
Just fucking the door blown up.
Weirdly though, considering the amount of glass and shit that blows up in Hardboiled, I don't think I've ever heard any stories of him having major injuries on that film, which is crazy.
Maybe by that point he was like super wary of it, basically. It's like watching out for glass,
wearing Kevlar under his fucking outfit every day and stuff. But yeah, there's some real highlight little moments that I love in the finale. My favourite moment, I'm sure it's your favourite moment as well, is when like the guy runs over the pews and then shoots at him, so Giant Fat just slides backward across the floor and unloads 2 clips in him.
Yeah, it's such a great moment.
That's the moment, like a bit like the moment in Hardboiled. I have to rewind that a couple of times whenever I'm watching.
I think anything with sliding involved, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I like a sliding gun death. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
because it was the same in like Better Tomorrow 2 when he slides down the stairs, obviously on his back with 2 guns. It's just like any moment, like in Die Hard when John McClane's on his back under the table. I think it's basically just when anybody's lying down to some degree and or sliding.
It's a very specific action movie fetish, but yeah, lying down and shooting lying down and like across. Overly blowing someone away with a whole clip. Yeah, that's what we're like. Totally. That's what we're like here, the Chris and Chris show.
Just give us like an hour and 50 minutes of that, basically, and we'll be happy.
Just a full action movie of a guy who can't get up.
yeah. He gets injured at the start of the movie, and like he loses the use of his legs.
He puts his back out or something. Yeah,
writes itself.
As for the very, very end, spoilers, if someone's still listening who hasn't seen the movie, it's a very dark, like almost Blackley comic ending. Yeah,
I think, like, is it too much? Does it go too much out of its way to be? Because obviously they have the line where he says, "Oh, if I die, like, take me corneas and she can have them," or something. And then they make a point of having his eyes get destroyed. Yeah.
Then again, though, that could be what we're talking about. That's their way of getting away with having the main character be a killer. Like, there's some comeuppance for him at the end.
Yeah, like he doesn't get to be the hero.
Yeah, not only dying, but not getting to be the hero, yeah. Although there was supposed to be a scene at the end where Danny Lee meets her and gives her money, but they didn't have time to shoot it or something, right? So it was supposed to have a happier ending.
Yeah, because I mean that is another criticism. Not to jump into criticism straight away, but the fact that they don't really wrap that Jenny thing up.
No, the way the film ends, she's bollocks basically. She's going to be blind for the rest of her life. She went through all that shit for nothing.
Yeah, like what happened to the briefcase of money? I guess the police seized it or something.
Yeah, what happens? What happens to Danny Lee? He just shot a guy unarmed in front of 85 policemen.
I'm sure they'll just hit him with more red tape.
Yeah,
and bureaucracy.
Yeah,
basically, and he'll kick off about it in the meeting, but then he'll just go on with his day job.
Yeah, they'll feel bad for him because I wouldn't say Kenneth Sang. Like, he has a good hero moment where survives like a gunshot wound to the neck basically and chases the bad guys like a badass.
Yeah, that's nasty. That isn't it? That bit. Again, a massively tense scene where you can hear the screeching off in the distance, and like Sydney like knows something's up, and stuff, and then his character gets shot. It's such a brutal place to get shot.
Yeah, like right in the like neck shoulder area.
Yeah, like there, like the point where your neck meets your shoulder. You're like, ow, fuck.
Yeah, that would hurt. But yeah, like I said, that ending is super. I mean, think about it. Not many John Woo movies have happy endings, except maybe Hard Boiled to an extent.
Yeah, no, Hard Boiled definitely does have a. I'm trying to think if because both of them survive and
Bullet in the Head does not.
No, it doesn't. No. Yeah, it's surprising the proportion of movies where Chow Yun-fat dies at the end. Basically.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah.
High.
And think about the end of Better Tomorrow 2. He's probably dead after that.
Yeah,
they're all shot to fuck.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, dark ending.
Very dark ending. Yeah.
Surprised we didn't get, like I said, a sequel, some sort of weird sequel.
Well, I mean, considering what Hong Kong's like, I'm surprised we didn't get some just schneidi like other company going, that's the killer too.
Yeah, it's his brother.
But it's not Chow Yun-fat, it's just some guy who looks like Chow Yun-fat.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm sure there's sequel material there. Like I said, you could explore Inspector Lee. He's left the force because he got like booted out because of his actions, and he ended up, I don't know, going down the killer route or something because he needed money to save Jenny's eyes.
So if he's the killer in the second one, would it be called Killer 2, like T-O-O.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like, look who's talking to.
And then in the third one, Jenny's the killer and it's the killer now.
No, in the third one, there's like a dog. Got to get that dog in there somewhere.
A talking dog. It's Chow Yun-fat reincarnated as a dog.
Yeah, totally.
And he's teaching her how to shoot and stuff.
Oh, kind of want to say that.
Come on, John. You know you want to do it.
Yeah, never mind remaking The Killer.
Yeah, just do that sequel. See, it can be like old Danny Lee as a grizzled old hitman. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Killer 4 in space, obviously.
Yeah, well, you've got to do the space one.
You've got to do the space one. Oh, Jesus. I can't believe we got silly during a review of The Killer.
You got to, when it's an ending so dark.
Yeah, you kind of have to, yeah. Fuck knows what we're going to be talking about at the end of Bullet in the Head. Just to cheer myself up. So do you have any other specific highlights we haven't talked about yet, sir?
No, I think we've probably covered all the main ones. I was saving, just in case we didn't get a chance for it, I was going to mention the car park scene. Mm-hmm. Which is a great bit.
I will say one thing as well. Like, I know, like, there's a bunch of music from like Red Heat using this, but I do love the original score by Lowell Low. Like the theme, the main theme's so good. It's so like not what you expect from a. Like it's not a theme for your typical action movie. It's very somber and like haunting and stuff. It's really cool. Yeah. There's like 2 themes that are really good in the movie
because it's quite a downplayed like score overall, isn't it? Like there are a lot of quiet moments in the movie.
Like most of the quiet moments are the original score. Everything else is like there's from a few of the movies I can't remember. A lot of it's from Red Heat.
Classic.
Like I said, try watching Red Heat these days if possible. Yeah. It just feels like another film stole the Killer score. Even though it's obviously the other way around. But it's like, you keep expecting Chow Yun-fat to walk in the door. It's fucked up.
Oh, I just thought I just want to call out the airport bit as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I love the complexity that it feels like there's a lot going on, and you can see why the police would be bamboozled. Mm-hmm. You know, all the people like coming and going, and you've got all the Japanese business people turn up and stuff.
Yeah, it's a believable little like scam they come up with to trick the police. It's quite clever.
Yeah.
Also, I do like the bit that's kind of like it gets a bit. It's like a serious like French farce when they're like pointing guns at each other in the apartment, but she can't tell obviously because she's blind, and they're pretending they're all friends that know each other. Then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to the toilet," and then there's a big chase and stuff. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, and the really cool bit when they come back to it where. Later on, I think it's in like the apartment when she the jigs up and she knows and she points the gun at Inspector Lee.
It's very sad that moment.
Yeah, because he like slowly like moves out the way, but she pulls the trigger, and it just kind of highlights. Yeah, it highlights like how sort of convicted she is now, and like on Chow Yun-fat's side, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think you see Inspector Lee's like reaction to the fact she did actually pull the trigger. Like fucking hell, if I hadn't moved, she would have shot us.
Yeah. Is it kind of ridiculous that she like doesn't really care that Jeff's the one that blinded her?
Yeah, I guess they don't address it, do they? Really? Yeah, no, they don't. Like, I guess maybe they don't show her because she does kind of betray him. I guess in fact that she does work with the police when she finds out, and she loses the airport. But I guess maybe she's just supposed to have processed. I don't know. I suppose it depends how much time's gone between her being shot in the eye, her losing her eyesight, and that scene happening. I guess. But,
well, I think it's just supposed to be. Is it 6 months? It's supposed to have passed between her losing us, like the initial accident and then them meeting and stuff. Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, you probably would be a bit like. That's the twat that blinded me. So
it's power love, and it's power love.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's it.
One thing I will say as well, and I complained last week about the remixed sound that Better Tomorrow has and stuff. I will say the stereo mix for this movie is a lot better. There is extra sound in there, but it's just there to beef up like the channels. It's not replacing all the sounds. And like I watched a lot of the film with headphones, and it sounds really good.
Yeah,
I do like the new mix on this movie. It sounds pretty good. Yeah, I didn't notice any like ridiculousness really going on, like stupid gunfire noises or. There's just a lot of like stereo, like sort of like Foley almost, like bullet hits in the stereo channels and stuff like that, but a lot of the original gun sound effects are still there, which is great. So it just kind of beefs up an already good sounding movie. So.
Yeah.
Criticisms, though, I don't have many. I think we've talked about any criticisms I would have had in the movie.
Yeah, overall, and just some of the, if you're being anal, just some of the unbelievability stuff about, like I said, we've already covered. But I think like the pace and the feel of it, the creativity of a lot of the shots and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it deserves its reputation as being
definitely
a very, very good film, and it kind of breaks my heart that when you Google it, like I said, the shitty. Well, I won't say shit because I've not seen the film. But the fact that David Fincher's movie comes up first is like, oh, fuck you.
I mean, it's kind of good for us because people might stumble across this show thinking it's that when they go, oh, what's this killer? And listen to the show. So.
Yeah.
And then get annoyed at us within 2 minutes where I'm like, fuck you, Fincher. Just offend all the David Fincher fans.
Michael Fassbender, he's a fad.
We'll not hear of him in about 3 years. Here we go.
Still gone.
He'd be doing Steven Seagal films in a couple of years. Just watch. As for Blu-rays and stuff, I mean, it's the same sad story, really. I mean, you've got the Hong Kong Blu-ray, which you can get for a decent price. It's got a few interviews on it, featurettes and that, but I don't think, from looking on DVD Compare, the featurettes don't have subs. So your best bet is still just to get that old American Dragon Dynasty release, but you'll be paying around £50 for it because it's well out of print, because that was released like, I don't know, around the time whenever the fuck Stranglehold came out, because that's when Hardboiled came out in Blu-ray.
I feel like it was like 2012 or something,
It was it would have been,
yeah.
Maybe even before, I don't know. Yeah. It's just a long fucking time ago. But yeah, I was just going to go into because I didn't watch the whole thing, because I realised about an hour in, there's a longer Taiwanese version of the movie, which is like 20 minutes longer. And I realised like about 50 minutes to an hour in, I was like, wait a minute, like there's not that much different. Is this just the snips here and there? That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, because like, is it 20 minutes longer or something?
Yeah, 20 minutes, but there's mainly only like 1 to 2 actual deleted scenes. The rest of it is just like bit snip there, edit. It feels like just an almost complete cut type of thing, but it's just John Woo just had to get it under 2 hours for Hong Kong, but released this version in Taiwan because I guess they were a bit more lax with the cinema showing times. I guess, I don't know.
The run time feels right, I guess.
It does, yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. There's also a Taiwan cut of Hardboiled as well, which is slightly longer. It's kind of the same thing, like an early cut. Yeah.
I always like to think that every film, whenever we say like, oh, it's 20 minutes cut out, I always think, there's a scene where he's like on a chair answering loads of phones or something. You always just attribute that cut out scene.
It's just the scene where he's just doing his shopping. He just goes to Asda.
Is it Police Story 2 where they do that, where Jackie Chan's answering all the telephones in the police station?
No, it's the first one. Yeah.
The first one, yeah. Where it's like such a
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. You were talking about that. I thought you were just like, just see the child fat just ringing his mother.
Yeah, no, he's just like on the toilet reading the paper or something.
But the main bit that's cut out is like, so there's just basically a scene where Danny Lee rescues Jenny from some drunken businessman like Jeff does earlier in the movie. So and then he goes back to her apartment. He essentially just lives that whole scene that Jeff does earlier in the movie to get to know Jenny a bit better, which they just got rid of completely for time. And like another little bit with Jenny, Sydney, and Chow Yun-fat. But yeah, it's mainly just little cuts here and there. There is weirdly a little bit of extra violence as well that he's cut out. Like I said, I think Ken Sang's character gets shot a few more times. There's a little bit in the opening shootout when like it cuts to when he's killing all the gangsters, and it cuts to Jenny in a dressing room, like hearing the gunshots.
Right, yeah.
And then it cuts back and Chow Yun-fat's like blowing another guy away before he turns, and it cuts back to like the scene as you know it. So yeah, there's a few little interesting bits in there, but the version, like the final, I guess, director's cut version is the preferred version. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think when a film gets to be over 2 hours long, you need a bloody good reason to be over 2 hours long. Really.
Yeah, like 2 hours is the max for an action movie, I think.
Yeah, otherwise you're just like, God almighty.
Bit much. You can only handle so much violence. It's like comedies, man. I can only laugh so much. Don't give us a 2.5 hour comedy, please. Fuck off.
Yeah, once it gets exactly. Once it gets like over 2 hours, I turn into the fucking guy going, "That's enough. That's enough." That's determined to use in every podcast.
Do you just want to do that at the cinema one time though, when you're watching some boring ass fucking 3 hour long superhero movie? Just stand up and shout at the top of your lungs, "That's enough!" Just walk out.
Just stand up with like a wax jacket on and a little flat cap. Just do the whole thing.
Get someone to bring like a watering can and put water on you like it's raining and stuff. Let's make a whole scene out of it.
See if anyone gets the reference.
Probably not.
No.
So what about merchandise and art and stuff?
Yeah, so not a great deal, as obviously no The Killer video game, sadly.
No, the Killer figure, as we were talking about last week, which is a fucking crime.
Yeah, very surprising that they would do a better tomorrow, but not the Killer figure. Yeah, very surprising. Because, all these accessories and stuff he could come with. And, yeah, crazy. Different head sculpt with a salt and pepper head. The haircut and stuff.
Come with a little harmonica and stuff.
Yeah, but no, they've not done that, sadly. In terms of art, there is very little art, but there is a guy, I believe he lives in London, British guy, called Andy Howe, he's a graphic designer, but he's done a few prints. Not a film that's got like a shed load of art or anything out there. No,
that's kind of, going back to my point last week about how no one really talks about these movies as much anymore.
Not at the moment, no.
And it's not even really just John Woo when you think about it. Like, it's mainly just like Hong Kong cinema. Like, it's not a classic Hong Kong cinema. It's not a thing that has a big following. Well, not as big as it used to, obviously, but just, you'd think it'd be one of those things people would be rediscovering now, like people in their 20s, but I'm sure it'll happen. There is a guy that I do appreciate on YouTube who is called Hong Kong Appreciation Society.
Oh, right.
And he does reviews and videos and stuff, and he's like really flying the flag at the minute, I always think, for getting the word out about Hong Kong cinema again. He's just really enthusiastic about it, and it's just nice to see there's still people that enthusiastic about John Woo, Sammo and Jackie and stuff like that.
I guess we should just very briefly touch on we mentioned it, but the remake, I guess. As well.
Yeah, so it's coming. I think that's his next movie. I think it's still on.
Yeah,
I know
looking at it.
They've changed it so it's 2 female leads this time. Like, I don't know if that was John Woo's idea or maybe it's the studio. It's still weird about a movie with 2 male leads. It's funny how no one says fucking Heat's homoerotic.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, you're right, it is. It's got that, the girl from Game of Thrones, Natalie Emmanuel.
Yeah, I was looking up recently, like, about the remake, and I'm sure I know him from something, but looking over what she's been in, I don't. Maybe she just looks like someone I've seen in something else. It was very weird. I had a weird Mandela effect moment, like, it's that girl from, what's she from? And couldn't find anything I knew her from.
The cast could be promising, I guess. I like the fact that it's not like, starring like Tom Hiddleston or something like that, or
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, like just people that are just too recognisable. Like, just dial it down. Get good actors who have been in stuff but aren't like fucking megastars or anything.
That's kind of why I like the look of that Silent Night. John Woo's next movie, because that Joel Kinnaman guy, who I do like, he's just been in like a few movies that unfortunately have like shitty reputations, like the Suicide Squad movie, the RoboCop movie, but he's a good actor.
So he's recognisable and stuff, but not to the point where you're like it gets in the way of the movie or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the recent, as of like earlier this year, he's going to be filming some of it in Paris or something. I saw the headlines. It's going to follow, just reading off like this news post on IMDb, but it's following the story, but they've changed a lot of elements as well, so it's not like a straight remake, which makes sense, I guess. I'll be interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah. So I guess next week we're with the jolly family comedy drama Bill and This.
Yeah. It'll be good. It's been a while since I've watched it, to be fair.
It's been a good few years since I've last watched it as well, to be honest. Yeah.
So we should have a good laugh.
It'll be a right good time. So until next week, folks. Have your email, chrisandchrisshow@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Chris and Chris Show. Blah, 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 blah. Review us on review us on hmv.com and all that jazz. Review us on Alta Vista and all that jazz,
Get on Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves about us and all that stuff. Get on AOL and tell your mates about the show.
ICQ chat.
The Yahoo chat. That's the little thing. Yeah, go give us a review on iTunes and all that jazz. It would help the show a lot. So until next week, folks, I will see you down the pit.
See you on the heap.
Goodbye.
The Chris and Chris Show.